I'm your happy healer man. Welcome to this program. Let's have a super duper doggone dark game. Let's say have a very bad day. I don't know what kind of day you had, but this day only gets better after you just had what your happy healer had for you today. Welcome, guys. I had a program set for you last week and I wasn't able to get to it. The bull market came upon us. It feels really exciting. And today's date is Tuesday, October 24th. It's after 5. This is live at 5, so don't get confused. And it's been an interesting last, couple of days. It's definitely, to say the least, fun days for me. I've learned a lot. I think a lot of us has been through so much in this past couple of years in the bear market. And, it feels good in order to see some of these, some excitement in the community. A lot of people with just heightened emotions, and that's to be expected after so much dead time. And so much of this I told you so's, so many different things going on, and I want to talk about that stuff. A lot of drama. I want to talk about that as well. One thing you have to know about me, my Pulsechain family, I am a lover. Make no mistake about that. I care about people. It's why I'm on this bus. This is the Happy Force One coach. This is the coach that started almost 5 years ago. Go back to 2019. I actually sold my home in order to go on this journey in the name of love for you and for me and for this whole world, for all of us. Doing my part as the happy healer to bring about love in this world. Think about that. It's so precious that we are all so valuable, that I couldn't ignore the value each one of us had. When I lost my father when I was 18 years old, that was hard for me to accept. I could not ignore the value that all of us had. When I lost my mother in 2012, and I was in my 30s, that was hard to deal with. And then recently, in the last 5 years or so, I lost my eldest brother, Lucky, my second eldest brother, Buddy. This is a tough life we live in when we do it wrong. And that's the point. And so once I've latched on to love and everything in my life improved, and I felt God's presence, and I felt the engine of life coming alive in me, I knew that that was for me. That fixed everything for me. It made life worth living again. It made life an amazing tapestry of experiences and soul living and a reason for living that's greater than just self-purpose. And that drives your everyday ambition in this life. So welcome to the program. It is October 24th. This is live at 5. We're going to be talking about some of the drama, some of the different things going on. You know about Katie in our community. She's one of the biggest content creators. One thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to content creation is appreciate your content creators. We are all working for this better outcome for the world, but also for our chain. Let's be very serious about that. We have to fight in this world of greed hell with the name of love and the name of God, the Almighty Lover, for a better outcome for us all. And we can do it. And I'm so confident that we can do it. Yesterday, I went to the store, fired up, so much passion and purpose running through my body and heart. And I ran into one of the workers that I had often seen there over the last couple of years, doing their thankless job, having no hope or way into a future that's better and happier for them. And I said, I couldn't contain my own excitement, knowing that we're going into this time frame, knowing how important it is, knowing that we're just getting started. I pulled him aside, and with such vigor and with such passion and care and love, unconditional love coming through. When you speak in that tone, people hear you. And I said to him, my friend, you want a better life? Do you want to be happier? Do you want to be doing this in another few years and still find no hope, as I've seen in the last few years has been the case? I don't want that for you. Listen to what I tell you now, because this is going to change your life. It is one word, one simple word. And I tell you, that word is Pulsechain. And that's how we're going to begin the program today, folks. Usually I have a video set. I like using graphics. I like getting excited about what we're doing and all the various things. It's just so wonderful. But this time I decided we'll come on a little bit, rambunctiously and without script and without preparation, because it's just a conversational tone, and I want to go over some of these things that are going on in the community and also touch on some of what I've been up to in Pulsechain and also some of the different dApps I've been learning about. The world of blockchain is absolutely stunning and amazing. This is where human energy is developed naturally into a trustless network that makes so much possible, that with trust you can go into this network and it cannot be corrupted. This is the place where lovers coalesce, where greed and the world of greed hell cannot interfere with the processes that we are doing. That is what true DeFi is made from. It's so exciting. I can't wait for the outcome of true DeFi onto this world to truly take hold. And one of the things that I have been working so hard for in my life and have done is to make a better outcome for us all. And I always thought that would be through politics or, and it could be still yet, who knows? But I know right now it is the money problem. For the last couple of years, I've heard Richard Hart. And if you haven't heard of this name before and you have been my friend, this is airing on 8 different social media sites. I've got over 30,000 followers, all of whom have followed me over the last couple of years. I want you dialed into these words. If you know any name that's important to learn about and to learn about the teachings, read his book and the books that he has written about life, and also what products he has made for this DeFi world that I'm talking about, the name is Richard Hart. Richard Hart has developed a coin called Hex. Many in the crypto world know about this, but most of my friends, you don't know about this because we've been in another world. We're in the political world, or my friends from the truther world, or in other places, and yet this is something that you need to know about. Going back to when I seen that worker in the store last night, Walmart, and so I said, yes, that one word is Pulsechain. And I seen him light up. And I said, do not forget that. Because unless you want to miss out on a great opportunity at ground floor, this is important to know and learn about. Be aware about what you're doing. This, they often say, oh, well, this isn't financial advice. Well, I often say, well, while it's not financial advice, it certainly is life advice. And it's your HappyHealer's honest, loving opinion. This is the way to go. And if you don't get in now, well, then you can get in later and still do well. But that's when most people get in. Have some foresight and get in before they do. But if you do, have the courage to learn about what you must do to be successful. That's why I'm telling you about Richard Hart. That's why I'm telling you about Pulsechain. That's why I'm telling you about the historical context of Hex. And that's why I am here for you doing this media, so that we can learn together, so that you can ask questions, so that we can grow and develop this ever creative process and be able to help people that have never seen or understood what blockchain means or is, to be able to do that in a way that they can process it so that it's digestible. It's so important to be digestible if you can even process and understand this stuff. Most people have a hard time doing that. So that's where I come in. And not only with that, but we're going to be talking about these dApps like I was talking about on the top of the show, such as Fame.io. This is housed on the Pulsechain network. It's a place where you could do decentralized financial things, just like you see in the stock market. Often we see these instruments and derivatives called like options contracts. This is where you can leverage the amount of money you spend in order to do a lot more in the markets in order to capitalize on movements that you believe in are going to happen. So let's say you also have that insight on Pulsechain, but yet you don't, or a means in order to put that much, into it, that much energy into it. It's the way how you increase your energy into a given move that you believe in. And also to do that without jeopardizing what you have already built. It's like if you have a big nest egg of what you already built, or even any size nest egg for each one of us in our own regard, it could be big for us. You can take a piece of that nest egg and put it up as collateral and multiply it to an order of magnitude 3 times over, 30x, and have it do the work of so much more than what it is. Let me be more specific about that. You can have something like 10 million Pulsex do 28 million 280 million Pulsex. It's like having 280 million Pulsex in your bag during profitable moments, and all the profit that 280 million Pulsex earns, not the initial one, because that's just a loan. The 280 million is a loan based on the initial 10 million you put in. And then at any time when you're happy with the profit, you can close that out and all that profit's yours. On the other hand, if it goes negative and against you, all you lose is the initial 10 million. You don't have to put up 280 million if it goes the other way or against you. So this is a trading mechanism. People who like to trade, oftentimes they put their entire bags up to this. They'll buy X amount and trade, and it could be something that's detrimental. So if you feel the necessity to have to trade for some reason, sometimes these protocols can be very, very helpful. And to know about that and how they work is game changing. So we're going to be talking about that. And another thing that I need to cover on this show, which it's not going to be very long today, I just want to cover a few things, let you know that I'm still here, I'm still doing this, and I'm prepping more material for you guys in the future. Very important material, might I add. And I wanted to cover about the situation in Mr. Brute's comment section, where Katie had questioned, his reasoning and motivation perhaps, and character for attacking other creators and other developers in the community, specifically in this case Buck, with fame.io. And I specifically and during that time was going through a learning phase on Fame, doing a deep dive into the network. I started this last week. If you watch last week's program, you'll see that I was doing it then as well. And I had found a couple of things that needed to get fixed. And so in that, I had also suffered a minor situation, a minor loss. And I felt upset about that because, it was impossible to know. But one thing that I will tell you is that having gone through the entire process, everything was a learning process for me. It was understanding how can I better help the community benefit from this protocol by learning and having a deep dive of my own experience. But if I run into any situation or any circumstance that may hurt the community or myself, that I address that and that it gets fixed. Now, we heard all these rumors running around, and we heard how Buck is an unkind man, and Dylan, and just things that, quite frankly, it's hard to substantiate what you hear, isn't it? The same could be true or said about pretty much anybody in the realm of greed hell, as I call it. But it's important to slow down and to be patient and to really look into everything that we're saying, that we're doing, look into the motive and every motivation that somebody has to say something. If somebody is speaking out because they feel slighted and they're looking for revenge, that's different than if somebody is speaking out in the name of justice and love and for a better world. Motivation matters. And what I couldn't speak on at that point was how all of this was going to turn out. But what was still ongoing was the pain that I felt and the suffering that I was going through and the circumstances that caused it, and a few other nuances. So when I seen Katie defending Buck and talking about DeFi, that's actually where I stepped in, is because she was talking about DeFi and talking about the Fame.io protocol, saying that this is DeFi, it doesn't matter who's behind it, this is decentralized finance, everything is like that, and it's great for the community, and in general defending Buck, which is fine. However, I wanted to step up and say, don't speak so fast, because I am also part of the community. I also love all of you, and I have had an experience in this protocol, and I think it's important to share this experience. And I think it is very important, the virtuous aspects of the people that are behind the protocols and the products that we use, such as Richard Hart in Pulsechain. Great guy. He teaches. He's a lover, and it's the way we have to be. We have to have this virtuous way about ourselves in order to do any good, to be fair. And of course, decentralized finance has that built into it. Yes, it does. She's right about that. However, when we see something that needs to be fixed, it's important it gets fixed, right? And that was my greater point. And at that time, it was somewhat yet unknown. Without getting into specifics, and I don't think it's even that important to get into specifics. Whether I do later on or not, I don't think it'll matter. But one thing is for sure, every issue that I had discussed or that I had brought up to Buck and to the team and to the developer and to Dylan has been taken care of effectively and efficiently and resolved. Additionally, the loss that I suffered because of a mistake on the site that was fixed was also handled. I was wholly and completely shocked by the kindness and by the love that I was shown by Buck in that circumstance. So take that for what you will. These are facts. And on that, I'm going to continue this deep dive into the actual protocol itself. I think it is helpful, like I have been indicating on this program, and that there is so much to be drawn upon from this. And there's so much that perhaps if you knew about, if you were familiar with, if you could put into use in some way, you would. And so it's about bridging that gap. The drama and all of that is not needed. I really urge all of us to stay focused, our eyes on the ball, building Pulsechain and making all of us shine. Buck, from all that I could tell, is a good guy and somebody who I consider a friend of mine. He is in our community. He has built something that's very useful, and he has shown me virtue, and that is all we can ever judge anybody by, the facts that we experience with others. So with that, what you have to look forward to from this program is a deep dive into the ecosystem that was built by Buck and the team that he works with, and all of that it provides for this Pulsechain community. And of course, other happenings, things that are going on. I'll be speaking on those things, and in a way that is really geared towards inclusion, the honest truth, and making progress, and helping you, answering your questions, deep diving the things that are most important. So again, should you ever, I do monitor the chat, and should you ever have questions or anything like that, feel free to put them in there. When I have a chance to address that or get to that, I will. And other than that, I have the sun coming into my eyes now, and I wanted to address this stuff and make sure that, you know, a sense of urgency was applied to some of the misconceptions about people in our community, at least as so far as how they handled me, your Happy Healer lover, in this, situation that occurred the other day. And I think that that really is a good basis to judge anybody in our lives on how we are treated by them. So go about our community and the world with that same heart. Be fair. When you're fair and you love, you get a good outcome mostly. So think in those terms. And on that note, folks, that's going to conclude this program. I covered in pretty fast detail here the things that we're working on and covered exactly what was in the description, I think. And if there were any questions, I would definitely speak on those. But having said that, I'm going to move on now and end the program and come back and see you again on Friday, live at 5. Thank you and God bless.